What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Brick Gaming. Today I will be explaining if Nintendo Switch Online is worth it or not. Welcome back, guys, and now we'll jump into the video. My favorite part of Nintendo Switch Online is its wide variety of games. There is almost every NES and SNES game you could imagine. There are a few games that the NES and SNES emulators don't have for Nintendo Switch. There are still a ton of games you can play, such as baseball for the NES. Me and my brother have played this countless times. It is so fun. There's also the original Mario Bros, which is a challenge but really fun to play. There's also the original Donkey Kong for the NES, but it's a little hard. It is still really enjoyable, and you can play it multiplayer. These are just some of the many games you can play on the NES, but there are also a lot of games on the SNES. You can play Kirby's Return to Dreamland for the SNES. It's really fun to play and really cute. It's also fun to play with other people. There's a lot more games you can play, such as Super Mario World, which is another very fun game. I think almost everybody has played Mario. It's very entertaining and hard. The last game I wanted to showcase was Super Metroid. It's very enjoyable and exciting. New power-ups that you get almost all the time. It's a bit challenging, but when you progress through the game, you get more power-ups and the enemies become easier to defeat. Now that I have done talking about the games, I will explain the other features of Nintendo Switch Online. If you get the expansion pack that costs $64 a year, you can get all this stuff. You can get the Nintendo 64 emulator, the expansion pack for Mario Kart, which is actually really fun. I'll do another video about that. The expansion for Animal Crossing that lets you get the Happy Home Paradise, which I don't know a lot about. You get the Splatoon 2 expansion, which is the Octo expansion. And you also get the Genesis, which is another Nintendo Switch Online emulator. If you like the feel of the old controllers, like the NES controller, you can buy a pair of them for $35 on Amazon. It looks almost exactly like the old NES controller. In my opinion, it's a very cool addition to Nintendo Switch Online. There's also the SNES controller, which is also pretty cool. It costs a little bit more at like $45, but still really cool. You can also get the Nintendo 64 controller, which is bigger than the other ones. This controller costs $50, and it looks exactly the same as the old one. This controller is probably one of my favorites because of its unique design. You can also get the Genesis controller for the Genesis emulator. It's about the same size as the Nintendo 64 controller, and also has a very unique design. There are a ton of games that use Nintendo Switch Online. I could probably be scrolling for 15 minutes straight just looking at all the games that have Nintendo Switch Online. These are just a few of the games that use Nintendo Switch Online, but there are so many. So this is another reason why Nintendo Switch Online is worth it. Another thing I wanted to talk about was cloud save data for the Nintendo Switch. What this means is that all your games are saved on cloud. This means that all of your save data is saved online. So if you log into your account on another Switch, you'll have all your save game data. A really useful feature, and I would say this is one of the best features of Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo Switch Online does not cost much. For just the basic pack, which lets you have all the basic features of Nintendo Switch Online, which is like the NES emulators, the SNES emulators. You get cloud saving, lets you play any game that uses Nintendo Switch Online. It costs $24 a year. That's an excellent price. Nintendo Switch Online is a little bit more expensive, but still an excellent price. It costs $64 a year. Is Nintendo Switch Online worth it? Yes, 100%.